and welcome to Tips for Success in Online Job Applications. Hi, I'm Nancy from Desert Haven in Lancaster, California, and I help people get their first job ever, and I teach vocational skills. Today we're going to talk about online job applications, some helpful hints, some online resources, some tips for your digital resume, and what to do after applying. Here's some of the basic things you need before you get started with your online job applications. You need a computer or a smartphone. It could be a laptop or a desktop or a smartphone. You're going to have to create username and passwords at the websites where you apply online, so you want to keep a logbook or some way of keeping your username and passwords handy so you can log back into the website if you need to later. You'll need a digital copy of your resume stored on the same computer that you're using, or on your phone, or on the computer, like I said, so that you can upload. You have to know how to upload. You'll need your references handy, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, who your references should be. You need a working professional email. Gmail is the best place, but there's others. There's Yahoo's and things like that. Make sure it's a professional sounding, not unprofessional email address. Check your email daily, and you want to have written down some details about your achievements at work and school. So when you've got all that stuff together, or you need to learn more about those things before you get started, I recommend that. Some more things to do before you get started on your job search. Do your homework and read about the companies and the jobs that you're applying for. Why do you want to work there? It helps to keep that in mind when you're filling out the application, and also it's good to keep in mind because if you get an interview there, you're going to have to talk about why you want this job and why you want to work there. Another thing that I mentioned earlier, keep like a master application handy. All of your job experience, your work experience, your school achievements, anything that you think might be relevant to what kind of worker you are, keep that handy on a separate piece of paper or on a separate document on your phone or computer so that you can refer to it and access it when you need to have information for your online application. You don't want to have to type everything out over and over again, the job duties and things like that. Some stuff you could take off your resume, but other things you're going to want to put in natural language on your job application. There are 3.5 or 4 ways to apply for a job online. Usually you want to go to the company's website. You want to make sure that you're at the actual company website, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. If you're looking on Craigslist, you may be applying via email, or on some career websites of the company that you want to work for. They might just want you to email them a resume. We'll talk about more what that should look like. You can submit resumes directly through Indeed.com or LinkedIn and places like that. And then sometimes stores have kiosks with computers inside the store. If you don't have your own computer, then you can use the computer there. But I heard that they're not doing that anymore. I know Walmart's not, but there may be other stores that have a computer inside the store for you to use to apply for a job. Here's some ideas of places that you could find job listings online. This is from 2022. There may be others, of course, but Indeed.com is very popular right now. You'll have to watch out because some employers post their jobs on Indeed.com monthly, whether or not they're actually hiring. So they're taking applications, and you can, of course, apply if it's someplace that you really want to work, but they're not all open, active, currently hiring positions. It is a great place to find places to apply, though, so I recommend searching Indeed.com. Other websites, Career Builder, Monster, Google, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, there's a bunch of them. Most of them require you to log in and have a username and password, so be prepared for that. Craigslist is like classified ads online. It's like we used to look in the newspaper where there's lots and lots of job listings. and you really have to filter through to find them. They're specific to your area, so make sure that you're looking in the right geographical area for where you live and where you want to work. In some places around the country, Craigslist ads are free, and that makes it just a pile of jobs that you probably don't want. So filter out the jobs you don't want. Make sure that you're not replying to any scams. There's lots of videos out there how to avoid those scams, but mostly never pay for a job application or for the opportunity to apply for a job. You should never have to pay for that. And be careful who you give your personal information to. A lot of times at Craigslist you can find out who's hiring and then actually just go to their website instead of applying through Craigslist. But in some bigger areas, Craigslist ads cost money, so it's not so bad because people aren't going to pay necessarily to advertise their scams, although sometimes they do. So definitely be careful on Craigslist. Get help with it if it's a source you want to use. Newspapers in your area, you can check to see if there are job ads there. It's rare. Usually in those job ads, they're going to want you to email a resume. Check your state's website for jobs. In California, we have CalJobs, but I know other states have it too, and it's a great resource. Ours is full of information about finding out what kind of job you might like, and then also job listings as well. If you're looking for school district jobs, EdJoin is a great resource. They have jobs all over the country at school districts. And then also governmentjobs.com has federal, state, and county jobs. And you have to filter out, you have to be able to work these websites to make sure that you're seeing ads in your area. Before you apply for any job online, watch out for job scams. The address to the company that you're applying to should have the name of the company spelled correctly in the internet address of the website. So the address should be target.com, not I really need a targetjob.com, or something where it's spelled wrong, or Amazon is spelled wrong. Postal service jobs, you do not have to apply to, or you do not have to pay money to apply at the post office. So watch out for that. I've seen those everywhere. Always look at the homepage of the company. Notice the web address. Make sure you're at the actual official company website. Okay. Do your research. When you want to work for a particular company, you can skip the job listings and just go straight to that company's website. Usually down at the bottom, there'll be something that says careers. You can go in there, look for jobs, and apply for jobs straight on their website, even if it wasn't advertised. Read their privacy policy and make sure that you know how they're going to use your information. But be very careful. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Or have a trusted friend check it out for you before you apply or send any information, just to make sure that it's not a scam. When you're applying for a job with an email, you need to upload and attach your resume to the email. You need to put a bit of a cover letter in the actual email, in the body of the email, even if you're attaching another cover letter or other documents to your email. Make sure you proofread your email, that everything is spelled correctly and it has good grammar. Don't rely on spell check. Read it out loud to yourself to make sure that it looks nice and professional. Here's some more about emailing resumes and cover letters. Include the title of the position in the subject line of your email. It can be your name and the position. Be sure that your email address is professional. Talked about that. It should be Gmail or Yahoo, or there's others, but make sure it's professional and not cartoony. Some employers don't want you to attach the email or the resume, excuse me. Don't need to attach the resume if they don't want you to. You can cut and paste the entire resume into the email, but only if they ask you to, because that looks pretty messy otherwise. And when in doubt, send the message to yourself first as practice. to see how the formatting looks and make sure that it looks okay. Be sure to attach the resume. Don't send them an email without the resume where you say, here's my resume, I'm really looking forward to an interview with you, and then the resume is not attached. It happens to the best of us. I've done it tons of times where I'm supposed to be sending a document to someone and it's not there. One little trick in Gmail, I'm not sure if Outlook does it, but if you use the word attached in your document, in the email itself, you can say, I've attached my resume, and then you forget to attach it, Gmail will remind you, hey, did you mean to attach something to this email? So that's very helpful because it's super embarrassing, but it happens to everybody. So if you accidentally send your email without the resume attached, just send another one. People should understand that it really does happen to the best. Just a reminder, have your resume and cover letter prepared already, or at least the start of a cover letter, because you want that to be specific to the job that you're applying for. You want it to have it on your phone or on your computer ready to upload so that you're not trying to create it while you do your job application. Job applications take a long time. It could be an hour or hour and a half. There could be assessment tests and things, so make sure you give yourself enough time and make sure you write down your username and password in case you need to come back to it. A lot of places will let you do that. If you need to get some more information, you can log out and go get that information and then go back to that application and finish. I know I'm saying the same things over and over because this stuff is important. Make sure you have a digital version of your resume ready to upload on your computer, because sometimes you don't even have to retype all the information on your resume because the computers are smart enough to read your resume and fill in a bunch of the blanks. When that happens, you want to make sure that they got it right, but that's also why it's important to have a digital version of your resume, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Sometimes you need to make the resumes fit different jobs. If you're applying for different kinds of jobs, you might want to make different resumes, one that highlights this part of your experience and maybe one that highlights another part of your experience. It's not absolutely necessary, but sometimes it could be helpful, especially if you have a really long resume, to take out the stuff that they're not going to care about. Read the job description and use keywords from the job description. If they're looking for a cashier, make sure you use the word cashier. If you're looking for customer service, make sure you use the words customer service. Things like that. Things that are relevant for them, what they might be looking for in a job candidate. When you upload resumes online, you don't want them to be fancy, otherwise the computer that is reading them may not get all the information that they need. Online applications and online resumes are not read by humans until they get screened through. If the computer sees the words it wants to see, then maybe a human will go over your application. So it's important to use the words from the job description, and it's important that the computer be able to read the information on your resume. So take a screenshot of this. I don't want to go over all of it, but basically you want to save it as a text file and don't use tables, bullets, borders, or graphics. Just a very plain text version of your resume to make it easier for the computer to read. When you're completing the job application, you're sitting in front of the computer or your phone, make sure you fill out everything completely. Don't skip anything, and if there's a red star, that means you have to answer that question. If there's a box with free space, then you want to try to use that to add good information about yourself, about your achievements or your work style. Say good things about yourself and your experience. Use keywords from the job listing if you can in natural statements. Don't try to spam keywords, but make sentences that include descriptions from the job description. When you're online, you might have several pages of information to fill out. Tax credit surveys, personality questions. Like I said, it takes some time. So make sure you give yourself enough time and make sure you fill out everything completely. If you get to the bottom of a page and it needs to submit and you haven't filled out everything completely, then usually it will take you back up to, and it'll like make it red and show you something that you may have missed. So take your time, fill everything out, make sure you say nice things about yourself whenever you can. More pages of an online application might ask about your gender, your race, your disability, and your veteran status. All of these are optional, but it just helps them make sure that they hire a diverse population in their workplace. Usually they'll ask you where you saw the job advertisement. Just be honest and tell them where you heard about the job. Be honest in your answers, but do not give negative information about yourself. If you got fired from a job, try to find a nice way of saying that. Or think of another reason why you're leaving. Even if you got fired, there's usually some other circumstances. So talk to a trusted friend, see what else you might be able to say there. And then be prepared to attach PDF copies of licenses or certificates if you have them, food handlers. Usually people don't ask for diplomas and stuff, but some school district jobs do ask for high school diplomas and things. So make sure you have all that stuff ready to go on your computer. I want to talk about your references for a minute. These are people in your life that can speak about you in a good way. They cannot be family. You want to have information on 2 friends that you've known for a long time. Could be friends of the family, friends of your parents, and then 2 from work if you have any work experience, or they could also be from school. So you want to have 3 or 4 people with their name, address, phone number, and email address. Sometimes they ask how long you've known this person. They want to know where this person works, and all the applications are different. So you want to get as much information about these people as possible. You want to ask them first. You want to say, hey friend, I'm looking for a job. Will you be a reference for me? And of course they're going to say yes, but that way if they get a phone call, they're not surprised by that. This is not information you need to put on your resume, but many applications ask for it. So again, it's just something you need to prepare to have ready when you're doing your online application. When you get done with your application, be prepared to go and visit the employer within the next few days of the places where you really want to work. If you're serious about wanting a job there, you need to go and visit. Dress nicely. Go when business is slow. Do not go to restaurants at lunchtime or dinner time. Okay? The best time to go to a restaurant is like between 2 and 5, 3 and 4, around in there. You want to make sure that you're letting the customers go first. Don't interrupt customers to try to get a manager's attention. Introduce yourself to the manager. A lot of times if you just stand near the manager's office, a manager will greet you and say, hey, can I help you? And how do you tell the managers? They're generally dressed a little bit nicer than the other employees. They might be wearing a button-up shirt or a suit and tie. They might have radios and lots of keys that the other employers don't have. So that's some of the ways that you could tell a manager in a business. When they say, can I help you? You say, yes, I applied online and I wanted to introduce myself and give you my resume. Talk about the jobs that it might be in that store. They're going to say you need to apply online first. If you go in without applying online first, they're just going to send you back home to apply online. So apply first, then go visit. Okay? And make sure you smile. You want to be very friendly and positive and confident in yourself that you are qualified to do the job. You can fake that confidence. You can do it. I know you can. Speaking of visiting in person, you want to take a paper resume. And this one can be fancier and better looking than the text one that you used when you applied to the computer on the website. You want to make it look nice, and there's lots of information on the internet about how to make a nice resume, but you can take a screenshot of this page to help you. I'm not going to go through all of it, but you want to make sure that it looks professional and readable. You don't want too much information on one page. You do want to try to fit it all on one page if you can. The only people that should have 2-page resumes are people with very extensive work experience that are applying for jobs. But in your first couple of jobs, you really should keep it to only 1 page. It should not be stapled. So here's some more information about that. Plus, there's a ton of information on the internet about it. So look up how to make a good looking resume and make sure that the one that you deliver in person is nice looking, not plain text like the one that you upload. Okay, this has been a lot of information, but let's review. First thing, prepare all your documents, digital and print copies of your resume, your certificates, your references, and your cover letter information so that when you go to apply online, you have everything ready. Find job listings online. Stick to the company websites as much as possible. It's good to look at job listings online, but be careful what you click on, be careful about your personal information, and it's always safer to go straight to the company website to put in your application there. Number 4, visit the location where you want to work afterwards and introduce yourself to the manager there. If you don't get the manager the first time, go back in a couple of days and try again. But these are the steps, basically, how to apply and get a job through an online application. Thank you so much for watching, and best of luck in your job search. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments here on YouTube, or if you're in my job prep class or here at Desert Haven, you can see me on Tuesdays or email me anytime. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.